Final Fantasy VII is the most famous video role-playing game ever released, and though there are a multitude of role-playing games that have garnered international acclaim and renown, such as Elder Scrolls Oblivion, Dragon Age, Zelda, The Secret of Mana and Mass Effect to name just a few, Final Fantasy VII stands above them all. It is the title that cemented the Final Fantasy franchise as the most popular and successful role-playing game series in the world of computer interactive entertainment. Released on the 31st of January 1997 for the original PlayStation, directed by Yoshinori Kitase, it predates Hideo Kojima's Metal Gear Solid by a year and was one of the first games to deliver a true cinematic presentation of story with in-depth cutscenes. It is no doubt that Final Fantasy VII became an inspiration to countless games released after it. Perhaps what has made Final Fantasy VII so special, though, is not the way the story is presented, but the actual story itself. Written by Kazushige Nojima, Yoshinori Kitase, Tetsuya Nomura and Hironobu Sakuguchi, the story is a remarkable exploration of what it is to be a hero, heroic and good. The villains are clearly villainous, but are the heroes actually heroes? Of course, many gamers who have held Final Fantasy VII in such high regard for so long would be, wisely, very sceptical of any attempt to remake it. After all, remakes, especially in the realm of film, haven't always turned out for the best, regardless of how much talent was thrown at it.
I think women can do anything.
Just because they can, doesn't mean they should.
But I have so many talents.
It's like I'm powerful with a little bit of tender.
Final Fantasy VII Remake swats any doubts away with an effortless ease that will leave a player simultaneously captivated and reassured. Yoshinori returns this time as the game's producer and leads the whole team on a dazzlingly triumphant reimagining of the original. This is a superb example of better, more advanced technology and software utilised correctly. The ability to create better animation, better realised and detailed environments and spectacular cutscenes enhance all of the elements of the augmented and more in-depth story to shine even brighter. All masterfully achieved using the Unreal Tournament 4 engine. Established characters feel fuller and even more relatable. Important story beats and moods have greater depth and feel more significant. Even this tough, aging alpha really felt some moments within the story's arc, moments that he couldn't quite remember from the past, now brought back to vivid life. Augmenting the whole experience is a smooth, flowing action-adventure style of combat. It is the same approach that was featured in Final Fantasy XV, and it feels even better here, with real-time menu options that pause the action and allow you to take a tactical approach. It is all so streamlined and so well thought out. As you would expect, the role-playing game layer of item, equipment and skill progression is here, but again, streamlined and efficient. Enough depth, but not so complicated that you will get lost. This is complemented by an easy-to-use menu system and map. The original Final Fantasy VII composer, Nobu Uematsu returns with Masashi Hamauzu and Mitsuto Suzuki to deliver a spectacular, reworked, remixed and enhanced rendition of the original soundtrack, chock full of synth-based themes and moods. In contrast to the other entries in the series, Final Fantasy VII is quite linear in its design. One of the biggest ironies of those who criticised the linearity within Final Fantasy XIII was that most of them revered Final Fantasy VII. Certainly, without the technological advancements made in Final Fantasy XIII, this game would not have been possible. The linearity, though, is never a problem, because this is a journey, and the beautifully realised environments are there to serve the story. You see, what makes Final Fantasy VII so special, despite its gorgeous, fantastical depictions, its wonderful array of colourful characters, and its incredible haunting soundtrack, is the story. A story full of wonder, beauty, darkness, and many, many surprises. Final Fantasy Remake 7 isn't just a remake, it's a completely new way of experiencing the story of Final Fantasy VII. For this reviewer, at least, it supersedes its predecessor, while retaining everything that made the original so special. Utter brilliance.